I'm delighted to welcome Lee Michael Stevens to my show. Lee's an independent British solo artist, a singer and a songwriter from North London, and is perhaps best known as the lead singer and rhythm guitarist of his band, The Swagger. Lee, it's so nice to meet you.
How's it going, man? You all right?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you. You look like you are too.
Yeah, I'm pretty good, man. Just kind of finished work. So, it's kind of had a bit of a stressful day, man. Just running up and down for people. Yeah, it's been all right, though.
There's no rest for the wicked, is there, sir?
I prefer to be busy anyway. It's good to be busy. It's good for the soul, man, you know.
Damn right. Now, let's talk about your new album, and we'll talk about your new single as well shortly. But I do love the title of your new album, Part-Time Rock and Roll Star. And thanks for letting me have a little sneak preview of the album. I do really like it. There's a bit of everything. It's got that Britpop vibe, but it's also got a little bit of country, a little bit of folk, a little bit of indie. But then it's also mellow, as you say. It's got that mellow vibe, and it's uplifting too, which is really good. So to me, listening to all of the tracks through, I feel like there's an overarching sense of hope for relationships, hope for love, hope for the changing face of Great Britain and for the children, you know, what they're growing up into. So congratulations on the album. And I think, you know, when you do have that album launch, it's going to be really successful. So what I'd like to know is, how did the shift from being in the band come to you wanting to then start to write and record solo material?
I've always been solo in my head anyway, do you know what I mean? But kind of songwriter, the band, but I don't know, just get away from my brother, I suppose.
That's mean, but he's helped you with some of this, hasn't he?
I know, that's mad. I can't get away from him, man. But yeah, I don't know what it is, mate. I don't know. I've always kind of like wanted to go solo, but didn't have like the confidence to do it. You know what I mean? So
so maybe like the experience. Sorry, I was going to say, like, the experience of being in a band sort of helps, doesn't it? With you grow your confidence, and because you're the frontsman anyway, I guess that's kind of the next natural step if you're into all of that songwriting malarkey.
That's it, man. I like both, man. I like being in a band. I like being solo. You know what I mean? It's good to switch between the two, I suppose. You know what I mean?
Of course it is. Yeah, of course. And, you know, there's nothing to say that you won't be swaggering back there again in the future. But this is quite a nice opportunity for you to be playing stuff. So how did it come about with the songwriting? Because I think the single that you've released now, I Miss You Now, didn't you originally write that as a Swagger hit, as one of the songs to go with the band?
Me and my brother wrote, Me and my brother wrote it as the next Swagger single. So ended up being on my album. You know what I mean?
You thought, well, I'll keep that.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, we're kind of like into the rock thing, so we thought, should we release it? It was a B-side originally, but, you know, I don't know. It is what it is, isn't it? It's on the album now, so. Yeah,
that's it. Indeed, it's yours. You've taken it for yourself, but you did write it. You do own it. What about all the other songs?
I wrote it with my brother as well. So we co-wrote together.
Yeah, of course. We must include him. And he's Paul, isn't he?
Paul Stevens, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he recorded most of the instruments on the album, so. Yeah.
Well, great musicians, the pair of you, and you have had a lot of brilliant musicians to work with, and also the production of the album too. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, basically, we're working with a guy called Smiley. He's worked with Rob Williams, and he's the drummer of The Alarm, the rock band, 80s band. Yeah, man, we kind of, he obviously smiles a lot. We kind of went in the studio and I didn't know who he was, he didn't know who I was. I banged out the whole album on acoustic guitar in like 10 minutes. And it was like, that's it, that's the album. He was just blown away by the harmonies. Me and my brother were singing, and that was it. We were like, right, let's do it. You know what I mean? We did it in 7 days, so.
That is incredible. That's incredibly quick for any album really to be recorded. But I guess you were really well prepared because you'd written everything. You knew the order of it. You had these great musicians then working with you too. And because you and your brother have grown up together, I guess that's why the harmonies blend so well and you're connected. You know, you can feed off one another, can't you?
Yeah, man. It's coming natural as well. Do you know what I mean? It actually took me longer to pick the song. Do you know what I mean? What to record.
And let's talk about some of the songs then. How do you go about writing them? How did they come into your mind?
I wrote these songs many years ago. I was in pain, man. I mean, I was like, I don't know, going through a bad time, missing someone or whatever. Yeah, just kind of some songs. I don't know. Some songs come out good, some bad. You know?
So from experience, really, then you're using sort of real life experiences and putting it down. And do you write it down on paper, or would you like maybe get some chords first, or get a bit of a riff? So, is there a formula?
First. Yeah, the melody first. I mean, then the chords, and the lyrics last.
Yeah.
And it's always the song title last. I've never write a song title down. I've got to write a song based around that. Sometimes song titles come out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? And do you make sure that you play music most days as well?
To be honest, I haven't picked my guitar since I was in the studio, and that's the truth, man.
So you need
something. I kind of need something to work towards, otherwise I'll just kind of like, all right, cobwebs and all that. But yeah, just I need a gig, you know what I mean?
Well, you do have some gigs booked in. It sounds to me as though you've been working really hard trying to get some dates and get back out there and really get touring so that people will get to listen to this album. Tell me some of the gigs that you've got lined up.
Yeah, well, I'm actually added a gig today at Amateur Arms next Friday.
So you've got to pick your guitar up, haven't you? It's next week.
Yeah. At least I've got a reason. I've got a reason now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before we go, what's the point of playing your bed?
But there's always a reason to play musically.
I know what you mean, but I'm kind of like I've kind of started off with nothing. You know what I mean? In open mic nights, you play free songs.
Yeah, I know.
It's like,
but that's how you get started, isn't it? That's how that's a really good platform for people to begin, especially when they want to go out and get known, and also build up the confidence and test out what people like. So I think that's a great place to start. But you've done loads of stuff as well over the years. We can talk a bit more about some of your upcoming dates in a moment, but you've supported the likes of Mark Morris, haven't you, Mr. Blue Tones? I mean, what was that like?
That was amazing, man. That was proper cool.
That was at London's O2 Academy.
Did O2 Academy, and we did Rec Rooms as well in Horsham.
Fantastic. So is he a good mate of yours?
He is. I'm friends with his missus as well now. I mean, and a lot of people kind of addicted that night. Do you know what I mean? And that kind of put me on the map.
That's all it takes, isn't it? One great gig like that and one opportunity like that, and then you're off.
This is it.
You've got to have the talent as well, obviously.
Didn't have an album then. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't really have much to talk about. It went down really well, man. I loved it, man.
And was it all original songs that you were playing then?
Yeah, I don't do covers.
That's the way. It's all your own stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, always.
Good
now
stuff.
I've got to throw in a few covers, like Beatles, Kinks, whatever it is.
Well, it's all in that mix, and I suppose it's a nod to those artists that have inspired you as well over the years to create the great music that you do today. You also have done some stuff before at the Cavern Club, haven't you?
I did. I'm going back there and all next year in May. So.
Are you? So that must be such an experience. I mean, what an iconic club to play in. So you actually headlined as well, didn't you, for one of the festivals?
I did, yeah. I played IPO Festival, the American festival, which I'll be doing again next year. I can't wait for that. The Cavern Club's same stage as the Paul McCartney, do you know what I mean? So
absolutely. I know. It's got some magic in there, hasn't it, really?
Yeah, it has, man. I love Liverpool anyway.
I do too. Yeah.
Good night out. I mean.
Definitely a good vibe there. Definitely. So let's talk about your single, and we'll talk about the dates as well, because we haven't really gone through those enough yet. So I Miss You Now. Now, this is great. This is so it's acoustic, mainly like acoustic guitar playing, and it's got that kind of a bit of the Verve vibe going on, a bit of a nod to Richard Ashcroft, the way it comes in with the strings. We were talking before about how the entire album has this kind of hopeful feelings that go with it, and this one in particular, this kind of makes me think, okay, I Miss You Now. It's about sort of maybe lost love, but then also we're perhaps all going to soon be together once again.
Could be a lockdown song, couldn't it?
It could be a lockdown song, yeah. And I think, it is quite relatable, isn't it?
It is. I don't know, man. It is about, being away from your partner, do you know what I mean, and missing them. It's a rock and roll love song, isn't it?
It is a rock and roll love song. Yeah, it is.
There's no other way to describe it, man.
No, it is, and it's quite catchy. You know, it's one that you play and then you hear it another time and then another time. Think, oh yeah, you know, I'm quite into this now. It's definitely got that indie vibe and that indie feel about it. And tell me about the ideas behind the video as well, because it's got this great video that accompanies it too, doesn't it?
Just me walking around Shoreditch, man, just kind of like telling it like it is. You know what I mean? I've never done a video like that. It's always been kind of like storylines and things like that. I just thought, you know what? It's all about me now, man. You know, just put me on the camera.
Yeah, Paul doesn't get a look in now, does he?
Well, Paul's actually in the next video I'm doing in a couple of weeks.
Oh, I think that's fair. That's only fair and right. We'd like to see him, won't we?
Playing the piano. So, yeah,
fantastic.
Man. Exciting stuff, man. You know, I love doing videos. I mean,
yeah, good fun. And it's always nice for people to have a visual as well.
Sure.
Indeed. So the rest of the album then, you're looking to release another song in a couple of weeks?
Yes. Well, in September, end of September.
Yeah. Coming upon us. Single. And is that going to be The Broken-Hearted Britain?
That's the one. That's the second single on the album.
I love that track. You know,
it's going to hopefully change people's lives, hopefully.
That is a bit of an Oasis vibe. It's there's a bit of like Beatles kind of sort of with the harmonies and stuff as well.
I'll say Beatles, definitely Beatles.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me about how that idea for this song came and how you went about writing it.
I don't even remember. It's been so long. All these songs are like 10 years old to me. I mean,
yeah.
I can't even remember where I was when I wrote this, man. It's a song, like you said, for the nation.
Yeah.
Everyone stand together and fight, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if we all look out for one another, we can rise above.
It's not about sides, you know what I mean? It's about everyone's same boat, you know what I mean? That's basically what it's about love. Well,
yeah, we are one love.
Exactly, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's hard to describe really. It says it all in the title, isn't it? But,
yeah.
You know.
Well, we shall all look forward to that. Yes, it's not far off now, that one. So you've got this album launch then happening, and that's happening next year on the 9th of April. Tell me the venue and your plans for that.
It's going to be held at the Night Owl in Finchley Park, London. So yeah, I'm hoping for people to come see it. The album's out on that day as well, so we'll be selling merch, CDs, you know, T-shirts, phones, you name it.
It's going to be a bit of everything branded with Lee Michael Stevens.
Selling my soul, that man.
Everything all over. Well, that looks to be a great night, doesn't it? And I'm sure that it'll be very well promoted as well in the run up to it. So let's talk. Let's go back to the gigs then. Give me a rundown of all the next gigs, so where people can come and see you.
Cool. Yeah, so the next gig is the 27th of August, the Amersham Arms, London.
Yeah.
Then I've got another gig the day after, 28th, in Milton Keynes.
My neck of the woods.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go to my website, www.lms/music.com, you can see all the dates there.
Yes, and there's loads. You've got things like Gloucester, Cambridge coming up next year. You're playing Blackpool, Tamworth. You're all over, really, aren't you? Then, of course, you've got that launch. There's more dates coming in all the time. You're at Somerset. Glasgow's going to be brilliant, isn't it? Next July.
Scotland, got the Scotland tour in July as well. Can't wait for that.
Awesome. You're doing Glasgow and Edinburgh as well, aren't you? There. Great stuff. Some great things. Bognor Regis next September, but the dates are coming in all the time, aren't they? So I think people have just got to connect with you. As you said, you've just given us your website address, but then people can also connect via all the socials too.
Yeah, Facebook, Twitter.
Join your little group.
Yeah, you got the LMS fan group as well. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, man.
I do know what you mean. Brilliant.
How many times have I said that? About 20 times?
It's all right, though. It's all good. It's all good. Right. So what do we need to say then before we finish up?
Go out and buy my album when it's out.
Yes. So we need to follow you and listen to these tracks, get excited about the album. What made you come up with this name, Part-Time Rock and Roll Star? Is that what you feel like you are at the minute?
that's what I am. I've always been part-time, kind of everything. Yeah, it's kind of like a nod to like the Gallaghers, because I got into music for Oasis and that growing up in the 90s.
Yeah.
You attribute to all the rock and roll stars, Jimi Hendrix, you name it, do you know what I mean? But it's kind of like the stage where I'm at the moment, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's taken me 10 years, you know what I mean, to kind of get to where I am now. Yeah, it's kind of a statement as well, you know what I mean?
Definitely. So after this album, then the next one might be called Full-Time Rock and Roll Star.
Who knows? You just said it.
Be nice, wouldn't
it? Maybe. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
Well, it's a fantastic album. I think sort of indie fans, Britpop fans, people who appreciate good music, you know, we just love music. That is great music. That's well written, well produced. They're going to really enjoy it. So the single I Miss You Now is out right now, and very soon, the end of next month, Broken Hearted Britain, which that's got a hit written all over it, and then of course all these other tracks will be coming out and ready for that album next year. Lee Michael Stevens, it's been a pleasure meeting you, gentlemen. There.
Peace and love, baby.
Indeed, peace and love. Thank you so much for chatting with me this evening.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me, man.
You're welcome.